Welcome to the Thought Leaders video blog, where industry executives share their insights and vision in today's landscape of live entertainment.
Harry Lerner, thanks so much for joining us on Thought Leaders.
Great to see you, Craig. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So Harry, obviously 2020 was the year of the pandemic. There's a lot of technology innovation. Do you feel like contactless and mobile ticketing has changed the landscape of live entertainment?
Oh, it has big time. I would say even prior to contactless, we were already seeing seminal change in the ticketing industry. Things were going from, ticketing was going from paper to digital.
Right.
People are far more likely to leave home without their wallet than without their cell phone. So we were seeing that significant adoption, across the board by people who want to use their phones for not just texting and making calls, but for ticketing and conveying passes. And so that was, even before COVID hit us.
Right.
So when we launched our mobile pedestal last year, we actually had no idea the world was going to change the way that it did. But with COVID, obviously now, the importance of going contactless as the primary form of digital ticketing is paramount. It went from a nice to have to mandatory. So in terms of how the landscape has changed vastly, when we go back to it, there's going to be the pervasive adoption of contactless as the leading mode of digital. You can look forward to the demise of paper because of how dirty it is, right? There's the proliferation of technology that's going to support contactless across the board.
Right.
We've seen advancements in NFC with Apple Wallet and Google Smart Tap. And I think also because of the crisis, people now understand much better how to use this technology. So people are ordering their coffees now more, right, with phones and Uber Eats and so forth. So this comfort with digital and with contactless has completely changed the landscape.
Yeah, 100%. We saw the rapid acceleration too, going from 100% mobile to over 105, and it continues to grow every week. It's crazy. So Harry, you guys offer both a pedestal and a handheld device. What are the benefits of each? And do you feel like the market is leaning one way or the other, or are both required?
Excellent question. The short answer is that both are immensely valuable. Just to recap, prior to COVID, the handheld was the workhorse of ticketing, right?
Right.
Small and lightweight, but still rugged, capable of reading barcodes on phone screens or, RFID tickets, digital passes that are in your wallet. So the scanner was broadly used, in ticketing. It's versatile, it's flexible, affordable, scalable. Then of course, prior to COVID hitting, we sold, many tens of thousands of these devices to many hundreds of venues. So, ranging from college stadiums to major league sports to concert halls and so forth. So I think the market had voted already that this was a winning paradigm. But then, obviously with COVID and with the need for contactless and for social distancing, we've seen the broad adoption of contactless, in mobile access. And what we love about, my answer, I guess, when I said both, what we love about the current situation is that anyone with an existing deployment of XT2 Plus or XT3 scanners, such as the ones that, you guys have deployed, can convert them affordably to a mobile contactless pedestal, basically reusing the technology they've already purchased. So, this way, instead of, paying a lot more money for something that might be less versatile, and the requirement to support new hardware and the software that goes with it, and paying annual fees for support and maintenance and all that other stuff. Now, instead, you can just dock your already in use Janam scanner into a mobile pedestal and convert it into a contactless socially distant mobile pedestal. So, and the same amazing Paciolan software that's already running on the handheld works seamlessly when the unit is docked. The battery life is long, uses the same wireless network. And so, so we think that both have a place. And the good news is, let's not forget, Craig, someday this pandemic will be behind us. In fact, now as we're talking, it's feeling like it's going to happen, right? We're rolling out these vaccines. We cannot wait. So the nice thing about deploying, these mobile pedestals that accommodate our existing Janam scanners is that later, if the environment allows and if the venues choose, they can undock their handheld and go back to using them in the well-proven format that they did beforehand, or not. but there is no other ticketing solution that enables a venue to choose, to convert between handhelds and pedestals, but this allows them the maximum versatility, maximum flexibility.
Good point on flexibility. Yeah, that's key and important on the transition as well.
Yep.
So we talked about contactless, that begets cashless. Do you feel like cashless, which is a big trend of 2020, do you feel like that's the future for live entertainment and commerce in general?
For sure. I would ask you this question, Craig. When is the last time you handed anybody a bill? I don't know about you, but my money clip has been in my pocket and hasn't come out in a long time. And I would even
give my daughter some money for the tooth fairy was the last time.
Exactly right. And look, gratuities are still kind of have to go in cash, but that's pretty much it for me. Picking up my car in the garage. But paper money and coins, if you think about it, those things were filthy even before the pandemic, right? But we still handled it, and it wasn't going to kill us. But if anything is going to push consumers now, not just in venues, but like you said, everywhere, to adopt electronic payment and cashless transactions, it's this pandemic. And I would add, I'm not sure we Americans are going to give up on our credit and move to stored value, debit, wallet situations when it comes to financial transactions. That might take some time. But the use of the phone wallet to store tickets and digital passes, I think that's accelerating even faster than mobile payment, because it is just the convenience and the security and the speed are too attractive, when compared to the alternatives. So it's definitely the future, not just in live entertainment, but across all commerce.
Yeah, agreed. The other thing it helps to unlock is the value of data. So talking about the value of data through contactless or cashless, and what kind of benefit does that bring?
Right. So there's always been, a desire to know as much as, to get more intimate with our patrons and our customers, right?
Right.
The beauty of moving from, and this has to do with contactless, but also again to the trend that I just described before, going from paper to digital, is with the convenience and the speed that comes with digital comes the intimacy, right? The fact that we now we can follow the chain of custody as people credential and self-credential. They credential family members and others. Mm-hmm. So it really enables much more insight into specifically who is doing what, where, when, and how. Those data points are hugely valuable. But the nice thing is we're acquiring them not in an intrusive way, but in a seamless way, right? Because this is actually adding to the convenience of the customer patron experience. And so, there are tons of benefits that come from that. And, and then there are other ones that haven't been more broadly adopted, but that we're watching, and people are hopefully with the pandemic wrapping up here, maybe this won't get pursued as much, but, even contact tracing and knowing, whom you came close to and whom you got in touch with and so forth. Those ended up not being as broadly successful as people thought, but you can see the power of knowing that, right? If something were to happen negative and you needed to know exactly who was where and who was close to whom and so forth. The key is to do it in a way that's seamless to the consumer, to the patron, mm-hmm. and that is not intrusive and not invasive. And, I'm not sure I'm comfortable with my face or my biometrics being in the same computing systems that are being hacked by foreign governments. But there's huge value to using the wallet in your secure phone as a means to convey data.
Yeah, I totally agree. And we think at Packing, we think 21 is the year of the comeback, the revival, the rebound, right? I think we're all appreciative and looking forward to that, right? So yes. Talk to me about how important is safety and fan experience in that rebound, let's say in fall, of 21.
Yeah. So the simple answer is that they are both of paramount importance for bringing fans back in 2021. And they move together, and I'll describe what I mean by that. But just turning first to safety, there's some seismic shifts taking place right now, driven by this concern for safety. Mm-hmm. We now have to be concerned for fans, and for not just for fans, but for staff and players, coaches, performers, anyone who's stepping into the venue. Right. So as a result, attending the venue, the event is going to look and feel completely different with all the security measures in place, mm-hmm. From scanning your ticket to how you use the restroom to how you might order from concessions to how you exit. So all aspects of that fan experience are going to be, evolving to comply with guidelines, state and local guidelines for safe distancing. So that's on the safety side. But as it relates to fan experience, this is where technology is what rescues us, right? Because again, going back to venues have existing handheld scanners that would have required a patron to come within 6 feet of the ticket taker, right? It's pretty hard to, depending on how long your arms are. But now, so what would have been a challenge in terms of ensuring the safety with the existing methodology, now with technology such as our mobile pedestal, venues can take that existing scanner, dock it, and instantly convert it to a contactless mobile access pedestal. So again, that's going to look very different for fans who are coming back, but essentially at a fraction of the cost of what the alternative contactless solution might be, they can now use what they've already purchased and invested in. The good news for the fan experience is it makes it as smooth and as seamless as ever. So, and this is even more the case with the adoption of NFC, for digital passes and so forth coming from the wallet. So I think it's a super happy day when both safety and fan experience can improve together. That's what I meant before when I said they kind of move in lockstep. Technology solutions like our pedestal are what's going to help venues ensure both safety and fan experience, and that they both improve together going forward.
Fantastic. I love it. We've talked a lot about trends. What do you think is the top trend in 21?
Yeah, so the 21 trend is an interesting one because as venues have basically been forced to rethink and upgrade their ticketing and their security, their cleaning, their food and bev, staffing, all the systems to operate in the world of COVID. But they haven't had the revenue for the last year to fund these initiatives, right? So I think the big trend that we're going to see is leveraging what they've got, their existing technology investments, to reopen safely. So once again, referring to, you can tell we're super excited about the GT1 mobile entry pedestal, but with a much more affordable option than anywhere else, you can instantly transform your existing handheld ticket scanner to a fully contactless ticketing solution. It complies with CDC recommendations for distancing, and these handhelds can now be, we can reimagine concessions, club access, parking, a variety of other functions. And the other trend I would say is contactless technology, which is going to play, I think it's going to play an increasing role, not just in the ticketing side, but in non-ticketing sides, temperature screening, security checks, but all aimed at the same thing, which is providing fans with, peace of mind and safety and then allowing venues to kind of allocate as best. But the big trend I think for venues is going to be with sort of limited resources, what can we reuse and what can we reimagine and what can we leverage, from what we've already purchased and invested in.
100%. So what other industries do you have your eyes on? Are there anything that you think is interesting? Is there any lessons learned that live entertainment can take away from some of those industries, Harry?
Absolutely right. Absolutely, yes, Craig. The ticketing industry is leading here, and the lessons are applicable across many other industries. Janam works with businesses, in all industries. You probably know that: in retail, healthcare, hospitality, transportation, manufacturing, logistics, and we're gaining all sorts of insights from those customers as well as to how to reimagine, re-engineer the way grocery shopping takes place, or shipping of packages, riding mass transit, checking in at a medical facility. So I think a lot of what we're doing in the ticketing world, a lot of this pioneering, innovative work that we're doing with, for example, NFC wallet and digital passes, is super applicable to markets, tangential markets around hospitality, like transportation or mass transit. Just think about it this way: the same wallet technology that enables you to credential yourself when you go, use your digital pass, could also be used to show a green clear pass as you enter another venue, right? That you've been vaccinated, or even how you board an airplane, right? Not all of us, as I said before, not all of us want our faces or our biometrics stored in the same systems that foreign entities are trying to access. But imagine that you, instead of needing to open up your phone and get to the barcode and size it up correctly and then approach a box and so forth. Imagine that all you do is you just tap your phone to board and all of your credentials pass swiftly and you never needed to unlock the device or stare at a camera or do anything else like that. I think these are super applicable across the board because they're all driving the same thing, which is how do we reuse investments we've already made? how do we make life smoother, faster, easier for patrons and for clients.
Fantastic. I love it. Harry Lerner, thank you so much for joining us on Thought Leaders. It's been a pleasure.
Same, Craig. It was great seeing you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you, not just virtually, but in real life very soon.
Me too. PACnet 22, back in person.
Can't wait, man.
Thanks.
Cheers to all. Yeah. Take care.
Thank you for joining the Thought Leaders video blog. And remember, everyone can step up and be a leader in their own way. We look forward to seeing you next time.